Hey guys, it's Catherine and I'm back for day 3 of my daily planner series. So yesterday, a lot more happened. I took a lot more pictures and I wasn't as productive as I had hoped, but I do have a little bit more that I'm going to be putting in my planner for day 3 than I have on day 1 or 2. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be showing you some really cool things that you can do with your digital planners or scrapbooks in this video. So make sure you check out the video description for timestamps to all the tutorials that are going to be offered in this video, as well as links to any of the products that I use or apps that I use. I include so much information in the video description, and I try to keep it as organized as possible so it's really easy to just scroll through. So first, before I get started on my daily page, I'm going to include my picture for the day for my calendar. Now, since this video, I'm going to be doing a few different things. I'm not going to be fixing this page today. I am going to be fixing it tomorrow. So I'll be showing you how to do that tomorrow. But for November 3rd, I'm just going to be inserting a picture right here. So I took several pictures of my kids yesterday, and I got a few really cute ones of all 3 of my kids, my stepson Sonny, my son Maddox, and my daughter Ella. And so I'm just going to select one of those. They're super cute pictures, but I didn't get a single one where all 3 of them were looking at the camera at the same time. So, you know, they're cute because it shows their personalities. They're really goofy. So I just brought this picture in. So I'm going to crop this. I'm just going to do a rectangle crop. And now I'm going to bring it here and size it down. So I think just like I did for that picture for Ella, I'm actually now going to do a freehand crop and just try to crop off this corner right here. So I'm going to click on it again and click on crop, and then come down here and select freehand and just draw a shape around it. So there's my picture for November 3rd. So now I'm going to go to my 3rd tab, and I'm going to go ahead and swipe so I'll be on my blank page when I bring everything back in for today. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to edit a couple of pictures that I took yesterday. Most of these I actually posted on my personal Instagram, so most of them have been edited, and I just like to edit my pictures. I like to brighten them up a little bit because I just think it makes them look a little bit more artistic. So like I was saying, since I did most of them on Instagram, most of them have been edited, but there's a few that I didn't post that I am going to brighten up a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to use this app called Color Story. Now, Color Story, I've had it for a while and I believe it's free, but then you can purchase all of these expansion packs with different filters and stuff like that. So even if you just have the free version, though, you can get a lot of use out of it. So it only works in portrait mode. So I'm going to spin my iPad really quick, and I'm going to double check to make sure you can still see what I'm doing. So my camera's down kind of low so you can't see the whole screen, but you'll be able to mostly see what I'm doing. I'm going to move it up because most of the tools for this app are at the bottom of the iPad. So there we go. So these are already in my camera roll. I made sure to airdrop these to myself before I started recording this video on my phone. So sorry, there's like dust on my iPad. I don't know where that came from. You never know when you've got 3 kids. So anyway, I'm gonna select my albums, and here are the 3 pictures that I want to edit right here. So I'm gonna select the first one, and I'm gonna hit continue. And now I'm just going to go to Tools, Adjust, and Brighten. And now I'm just going to drag this a little bit to brighten it. And I know that you can brighten photos and stuff on your camera roll, but I just feel like this does a better job than my camera roll of brightening photos. So that's why I'm using this app to just brighten the photos. So I've done that. So now I'm going to click on back, and now I want to crop this photo. So I just want the crop to be a Maddox. I don't need all of this other stuff in the background. So I'm going to click on custom crop, and then I'm going to drag these sides right here. Okay, so for some reason that didn't initially respond to the pencil, but then after I used my fingers, it started responding to my Apple Pencil. So now I'm just going to crop where it's pretty much just Maddox. And he put his Halloween costume back on. We washed it, and he got it straight out of the dryer. and put it back on. He was so excited. He loves superheroes. Okay, so I've got this one done. So now I'm going to click on review and I'm going to click on just save. And so that just saved it to my camera roll. And now I'm going to go back by clicking start again. And this brings me back here. And now I'm just going to do it for those 2 other pictures that I took of him in his costume. Okay, so I've got all 3 of those saved to my camera roll. So now I'm going to work in this other app. The app that I'm about to use also sticks in portrait mode. So I'm just going to keep my iPad facing this way for now. And I'm going to go to this app called Quilt, which is right here. It's just a gray icon. And I can't remember if this app cost me anything or not. I've had it for a while. I use it all the time. So if it did cost me anything, it was a small amount and I've definitely gotten more than my money's worth out of it. But it may be free. I don't know. Just look it up in the App Store if it's something you're interested in. It allows you to build collages really quickly, and you can use, I haven't even found a limit on the number of pictures that you can use. I've used at least 50 pictures in one collage, but I think I've actually used more than 50 pictures in one collage. I think I've used over 100, because this is usually what I use when I'm building my collages for our monthly memories, and some months I take over 100 pictures. So I don't even think there's a limit, but it gives you a lot of different layout options for photo collages, and it does it really quick. So I'm going to show you how this works. I've got the app pulled up, and now to start a new collage, I'm just going to go to new, and I'm going to go to all photos. So what it does is it builds collages in the order that you select photos. So what I'm going to do, I want these to be kind of mixed up. Instead of just having these 3 photos from the morning together, then all these pictures of the kids, and then these 3 of Maddox, I'm going to just, I'm going to select 1 of the kids, 1 from the morning, 1 of the kids, 1 of Maddox, kids, morning, kids, Maddox, and I'm just going to keep doing that. And now I'll just have these 4, because I took way more pictures of all 3 kids than I did of our morning or of Maddox in the costume. So I've got that done. So now that all of those are selected, I'm going to hit back. And now up here, I'm going to hit done. So you'll see that I have all these pictures and it imported them from left to right in the order that I selected them. So now I can come down here to where these numbers are, and I can view all of the different layout styles that they've given me. So it gives you 8 different styles. It might even give you more the more photos you have. So for this, it just is giving me 8. Let's see. I'm trying to decide which is going to work best. It's either going to be 2 or 6. I think I'm liking 6. Yeah, I like 6. So now I'm going to click on save. And I want to save this as extra large, because the larger it is, the higher the quality it's going to be. So then this pops up, and there's tons of different ways that you can edit it down here, but I'm just going to click on done. I'm just going to save it as is, because these photos have already been individually brightened. And now it's saved to my camera roll. So now I can pull this into Procreate. So I'm going to flip my iPad again, and I think I've got it in the camera. So, and I'm about to sit back down, and this chair is so squeaky. So I'm sorry for the squeaky noises you're probably going to hear throughout this video. I have not yet moved my pink office chair down to my official office yet. And so I'm stuck with this really squeaky chair. So there it is. So now I'm going to go to Procreate, and I'm going to start a new canvas. I'm going to go to this plus sign, and I'm going to select my 14 by 10 custom canvas that I created in the very first video in this series. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to bring in that photo collage. So I'm going to go to my wrench, go to insert a photo, all photos, and then there is my collage. And that looks good. I want it sized down. Actually, I don't want it sized down. I want to bring it over here and maybe put it here. Yeah, I like that. And now I'm just doing this for fun. If you look closely, you'll see all of these white lines that it puts in between the pictures. I am going to draw my own lines. I'm just going to trace those lines around each picture. It's going to take a minute, but it's going to give it more of a hand-created or hand-drawn effect, and I think it'll look really nice. So I am going to do that in, let me browse my colors. I like this color right here. I'm going to use this color. So this is actually a color palette that I got from Hewitt Avenue. She has a collection of watercolor calligraphy brushes that are really awesome. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will link to that in the video description. But that pack comes with several really pretty color palettes. So it comes with 2 color palettes. So I will link to that for you in the video description. So now I'm going to trace those lines like I was saying. I'm going to do it on its own layer in case I mess up. This photo collage is not affected. So I'm going to my layers and I'm just going to select the plus sign to create a new layer. And now I need to select a brush. So my signature brush is already selected, and now I just need to play with how thick it is. I want it a little, well, I'm going to be zooming in, so let me see. Yeah, I need it a little thicker. I like that. So first, I'm going to draw a box around the entire collage. And I'm going to start with the first line. So I've shown this in another video. I'm going to show you again how I can get that straight line in Procreate. I'm going to start at the corner, and I'm not drawing it straight right off the bat. So once I've drawn the entire line, I just press and hold, and it straightens out my line for the most part. It still has some hand-drawn elements like you'll see here, but that is part of the charm of doing what I'm doing. So, but it did straighten it out a lot. And then I can adjust it so it fits this edge perfectly. So I'm going to show you again so you'll see what I mean. So now I'm going to press here. I'm going to press here and then hold. And so once I have held down on the line, I can freely move it any angle that I want, and I can even make it shorter or longer as long as I'm holding down on it. So that's what I'm doing right here. And when I hit back, I don't know if you can see it, but these blue dots pop up. They're just tiny blue dots. And that actually gives me the freedom to control that line again. So I'm going to stretch and move this line a little bit more. But that only works when you hit back immediately after drawing the line. So now I'm deselecting it, and that line is done. I'm going to fill this in. And I won't be able to edit it again now that I just filled in that other little area, unless I hit back a few times, but then it would delete where I filled in that area. So that's just a little trick. So now I'm going to draw this other line. Okay, so I need it to be longer, so I'm going to hit back, and then I'm going to drag this blue dot, deselect, and now I'm going to draw the final line. Okay, so I've got my box around it, so now I'm just going to come in here and draw lines to cover these white lines. Okay, so I love how that turned out. I love the lines over the image, and when you look here, you'll see that that whole collage outline is on its own layer, so I can turn it off if I ever change my mind, and the collage is unaffected, but I'm going to keep it on because I think it looks cute. See, that's how it would look without all the photos. So I've done that. Now I need to put the date, so I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to type today's date. So, like I've done in all my other videos, I'm going to go on the hunt for a really cute font. And, of course, I'm going to go to Creative Market. I just feel like there are other websites where I purchase fonts from, but I feel like Creative Market is the easiest to use on my iPad. So, it's just easy to browse my purchases, and it's easy to see all these thumbnails of all the fonts that I can choose from that I've already paid for. And I just love it. So let's see. Let me check out Freshwater. So another cool thing that you can do on Creative Market, if you scroll down here, it shows you samples of the fonts right here. And you can come to this area and you can type in any phrase, any word that you want, and you can see what the font looks like. So I actually do this a lot when I know that I'm going to be typing my name or one of my businesses in a font. I test it out down here before I purchase it. So let's see, do I like how November looks? I love this font and I use it on my computer, but I don't want it for November. So let me see. Let me check out some more fonts. Oh yeah, this is what I want. This font is called Somerset, and I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it's beautiful. And of course, I'm going to link to it in the video description. Here's a few little sample images. It's really, really pretty, and it's got these pretty bouncy ligatures. Excuse me, not ligatures, swashes. The ligatures are right here. It has a separate font for ligatures, and that's where you can do, like if you're typing two E's or two B's together, you can use the ligature font and it'll make it look more handwritten. So that's pretty cool. So for now though, I'm just going to download the whole font because I have to, but I'm only going to install the just regular Somerset font. So I'm going to go here to download now. And again, like I've said in my other videos, there is a full tutorial on how you can download fonts directly onto your iPad and install those fonts so you can use them in graphic or any other software that supports fonts. Okay, so I'm going to close out of any font and I'm going to close out of iZip. And now I'm going to pull up graphic. So let me pull that up. And this is where I was doing my video yesterday. So I'm going to select all of this and delete it. And now I'm going to find that Somerset font. Okay, so now I'm just going to type the date. And it was November 2018. So about that font, what it showed on Creative Market is it's what I got. It's the right font. But apparently there's two versions of Somerset. There's a Somerset that has swashes when you type numbers, and then there's another set that I think also types letters, but it types numbers as well. So you'll need to download Somerset Alternates Regular and Somerset Alternates 2 Regular if you want to get both the font and the numbers. But look how pretty this is. So you know how I said in another video, I'm going to show you how to adjust spacing. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Yesterday, I showed you how to adjust vertical spacing. Today, I'm going to show you how to adjust horizontal spacing. So I'm just going to select where I type 2018 because there's quite a bit of space in between those numbers. And now I'm going to come here to where there's an A and a B with a double arrow in between, and I want to click there. And now I'm just going to hit this minus sign until you can see right here. Every time I hit that minus sign, I'll do it this way. The numbers get closer and closer together. And since only 2018 is selected, it's not affecting the entire line of text. It's just changing that 2018. Because with some fonts, not all fonts, there's way too much spaces in between the numbers. That's something that I come across pretty regularly. The spacing from the letters will be perfect, but then I type numbers and it's like a ton of space. So that is an easy fix. So there it is. I've typed it. And now I'm just going to copy this into Procreate. So I'm going to go to my paperclip. And I'm actually, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to select all of this and make the font size as large as possible without it being on one line. So there we go. So now I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to go to the paperclip. Oh, I got to get out of that. Okay. So it's still selected. You see the blue box around it. So now I'm going to go to the paperclip and I'm going to select copy. And then I'm going to go back into Procreate. And on this new layer, I'm going to 3-finger swipe and hit paste. Doing that added it to layer number 3, which I had just started before I closed out of this to go to graphic. So now I'm just going to increase the size by going to this arrow tool. And now I've got that box around it. And to keep it proportional, I'm going to come down here and select magnetics. And I'm going to drag and I'm going to make it as wide as I can where it's not interfering with the collage. Okay, so I like that, but something that I want to do is I want to trace over this font so I can make it a little thicker, but also look like it has kind of a border around it. Now, I cannot write this pretty. I don't know how this is going to work. This is an experiment that I'm doing because I've actually never done this with a font in Procreate. So, how I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to my layers and I'm going to go back to layer number 2 because it's underneath layer number 3, which is my date layer. And I'm going to hit the plus sign. So now you'll see that this layer is below the font. So now I'm going to select the color that I want to use. And I'm going to select this pink color that's also in that Hewitt Avenue watercolor kit. And I have my signature brush selected. Let me see. I want to make the brush a little thicker, but this, yeah, that thickness looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to zoom in and I'm just going to very carefully trace this font and kind of see what happens and see if I like it. This is so much more nerve-wracking than I thought it would be because this font is so beautiful and elegant, and I feel like my sloppy hand is kind of messing it up, especially because I'm at a weird angle. When I film these videos, I have my phone on a stand, so it's like looking down on my iPad, and when I do this kind of thing, I naturally want to just get really close to the iPad and I want to tilt my iPad, but if I do that, either my head is going to block the view or I'm going to tilt it in a way where you can't see everything on camera. So my handwriting when I do these videos is not that it's great anyway, it's all right, but it's not nearly as neat as it is when I'm just, you know, sitting in bed or sitting on the couch, playing around in Procreate. So tracing is especially hard this way. So another thing I wanted to tell you guys is sometimes see how I'm zoomed in and I'm not loving this when I'm zoomed in, but I may zoom out and it may look so much better than it looks to me right now, or it may look worse. You just never know. So like I was saying, this is kind of an experiment for me. So we're going to go with it, and then if I don't like it, I can always just delete the layer. I like it, but I want more. I think I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to come down here to layer number 2 and add another layer and select another color. I'm going to go back with this turquoise color that's in this palette that matches this right here, that matches the box that I drew around the collage. And I'm going to make my brush a little bit thicker, and then I'm going to do it one more time and see how that looks. Yeah, I like that. I think it looks cool. Now, I'm going to group these layers. I'm not quite ready to merge these layers because I'm not fully committed to this yet, but I do like the look of them enough to group the layers. So to group these layers, one of them is already selected, so I just want to select the other two. So I'm just going to swipe to the right on those other 2 layers, and then I'm going to hit these lines right here, and then that creates a new group. So now when I have that group selected, I can resize these, and I know I just sized them to keep them proportional, but I'm going to make this text just a little taller. And that does warp the font a little bit, but if you only do it a little bit, the font still looks really good. So I've done that. So now I'm going to list some things that happened yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out the format that I want to do that in. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but my husband is upstairs with our kids, and I just heard my 4-year-old stomping so hard across the floor, and I could tell it was my 4-year-old. I say 4-year-old, he's really 3. He'll be 4 November 19th, so he's pretty much 4. So he must have gotten in trouble. Anyway, let me think. So yesterday wasn't as productive as I had hoped, but it was a little bit more eventful. We tried to have a movie day yesterday, but that kind of failed. While I was down here filming my November 2nd video, I thought, you know, the kids were upstairs watching a movie, and then I was going to go upstairs and we were going to watch another movie. But apparently, according to my husband, the kids got super wild, so we ended up not getting to watch a movie together. We did kind of hang out together later, but I didn't get to watch a movie. So I'm going to write down failed movie day. let me find, I'm going to start with black and then go from there. So still using my signature brush. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm writing down. The next thing I'm going to come down and write in script. So I worked a little bit on my Glamour planner, which I've been using and I love it. I came up with an idea for another layout that I'm going to eventually list as kind of a bonus page that you can purchase if you want to. That'll fit perfectly in the Glamour planner. So I've got to get that out. So I came up with that. I don't think I'm going to write that down though. I am going to write down though that I worked on the diamond color scheme for the Glamour planner. So the diamond color scheme is going to be a more neutral color scheme. What I have right now is a very light pink and it's beautiful. It's my favorite. But now I'm working on a more neutral color scheme so you can add as many colors as you want to if you choose to purchase the planner, and you don't have to worry about clashing with that light pink. So I'm going to write down Glamour Planner Diamond, or maybe I should put worked on Glamour Planner Diamond because I don't want to think that I actually launched the planner because I haven't yet. So it's called the Glamour Planner Diamond, and I don't want to just squeeze all that in, and I don't want to make this 3 lines. So I'm going to try to find a diamond sticker and place that behind here. So I'm going to show you something really cool. I found this on Instagram, and I cannot remember the name of the person that I found this video. I was just browsing the hashtag digital planning and found this video, and it was really cool. It was for a really cool app. So I'm going to go back and find it because I ended up following her after I found her showing off this video, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and I'm going to find her Instagram and link to it in the video description because she definitely deserves the credit for this. But anyway, she was showing off this app called PicsArt, and I believe this app was free. I've already forgotten. I've been in a sleep-deprived state, like I've been saying in my videos. Ella has not been sleeping, but I believe it's free. So this is what it looks like when you pull it up. And you can come over here to search, and you can search for images, stickers, or artists. So I'm going to go ahead and select stickers, and then I'm going to search for diamond and just see what pops up. And look how cool this is. And guys, all of these are free. So let's see what I've got here. This is actually the first time I've gotten to really play around with it and use any of these. I cannot wait to browse this later for my personal planner because this will be so much fun. Okay, I like these gold diamonds. What happened? Well, I have to close the app. I've been having so much trouble with my iPad since I updated to iOS 12. I probably should have held off. So that was one problem that I just had. I don't know if that was the app or the iOS. And the other problem was that today I was working on recording my screen recording for my weekly Plan With Me video. And I did like 30 minutes worth of work. And I checked multiple times to make sure the screen recording was still on, and it was. And then all of a sudden, while I was doing this, my daughter was asleep in my lap. She woke up and just hit my iPad. And I don't know if that was what caused it, but then I went back to the home screen and it was not doing a screen recording anymore, and it didn't save anything that I had done. So I'd been working for 30 minutes. You know how it feels when you've been working, no matter how long it's been, and then you lose that work. It just feels awful. Obviously not, like I'm not upset with my daughter about it. It was kind of funny how she hit my iPad. But yeah, it was just all gone. So that was the second time, or actually third time that I've been screen recording, and then it just stopped, and it didn't save what I recorded. So it's kind of a bummer. Okay, so now I'm going to try to use these gold diamonds, and I'm going to see if this will work. So what I'm going to do right now, that's already down there. I'm going to pull Procreate back up, and then I'm going to pull my dashboard down here back up. And I'm going to drag this over to the side and see. And I don't know for sure if this is going to work. It might not with this app. I guess it doesn't. That sucks. Okay, so I'm going to click on these. There they are. Okay. So this was by Birdie's Creations. Let's see. It says free to edit down here. So you can go here and you can choose to buy, print, share, copy URL, print at home. I'm going to select print at home and see what happens. So, God, I don't want to print these. So now I'm having to go in here and allow access to my photos from this app because I accidentally clicked do not allow. So like I said, this is the first time I've actually got to use it. Now I have to go back and find those diamonds. Okay, here they are. Watch me do all of this and then I don't even like how it looks. Okay, I'm going to click on apply and I can select a background for the sticker. So I'm going to select this transparent background right here. And I'm fine with it. They obviously have this kind of strange shaped, well, it's shaped to fit the diamonds, but still they have that white background around it. But I'm just going to click apply because my page is white, so it's not really going to matter. And now I'm going to click on next. And, oh, I can click on save to device. So now let's see what happens when I bring them in here. I'm going to bring them in from my camera roll. Hopefully they're there. Yep, there they are. Okay, so I want to size these down. And right now they're above my lettering layer. So it's covering that, but now I've placed them and I can move them beneath that layer. Do I like that? I don't hate it, so that's fine. So now I'm going to also write Ella had another really sleepless night. So last night was daylight savings time. The clocks were set back an hour. So she ended up taking an unexpected nap at like 5. I only let her sleep for like 20 minutes. So then usually she falls asleep between 6:30 and 7. She was not ready to go to sleep between 6:30 and 7 at all. So she fought sleep. My husband had to walk her around to get her to sleep. So she finally went to sleep. And after she went to sleep, I just had one of those nights, I have them frequently, where I finally get a chance to rest, but then I can't sleep. But I also can't move because she's just asleep right against me. And anytime I move, it wakes her up. So I caught up on Grey's Anatomy. And I started watching Station 19 as well, which is a spinoff of Grey's Anatomy that I didn't watch it in its first season. So I'm going back and watching that, and then I'm going to watch the second season and get all caught up. So I did that, and then I finally got tired after the first episode of Station 19. And anyway, that's when she started waking up. So she woke up every half hour from 1:30 to 5:30 a.m. And she ended up waking up for the day at 5:30 a.m. because she's so used to waking up at 6:30. But like I was saying, daylight savings time, so we lost an hour. So she woke up at 5:30 a.m. And my husband was already up. He gets up at 5 a.m. He's amazing for doing that. And so I was thankfully able to call him, and he took over with her. So I was able to get 2 full hours of sleep from 5:30 to 7:30. But, you know, 2 hours of sleep, even though I'm so thankful for it, I don't know what I would do without my husband. 2 hours of sleep is still not enough to run on. So that's what I'm currently experiencing. And I'm sorry for talking about that for so long. So I'm going to write another sleepless night. I actually like that stretched out. I wasn't sure if I would or not, but I do. And then I already have a picture of Grey's Anatomy saved to my camera roll because I used it in my weekly planner. But it looks like it's going to fit just perfectly right there. So I'm going to bring that in. I love Grey's Anatomy. I love it so much. So I'm going to bring this in. And, oh, if you keep doing what I'm doing, and you accidentally like change the dimensions of your image and you still have it selected, you can come down here and select reset, and it'll reset everything that you've done while that image was selected. So if you deselect it though and then start working on it again, it won't do anything you did before you deselected it, but it'll do everything you've done just in that one little session of messing around with it. So, okay, so I'm placing that, and then I'm going to bring this below my purple lettering so that kind of overlaps a little bit. So that pretty much sums up another boring day. But you know, I love every day because I get to spend time with my kids, and there's like a lot of laughs in every single day. So I'm not saying boring in a bad way. It's just, you know, I don't have one of those busy planners that has like a million things written down in it. So now I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to bring it back into GoodNotes like I always do. Okay, so I'm already on the page that I need to be on. So I'm going to import that photo, and I'm just going to resize. And there it is. So that was November 3rd. I will be back tomorrow to upload November 4th. Today is actually November 4th. I'm doing memory planning. I didn't remember to take as many pictures today, but I did get a couple of cute little pictures, and I did work on a few things today as well. So I will be writing about that tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more digital plan with me videos and digital planning tutorials. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I was really excited to show you all those different apps, and it was really cool to experiment with the app PicsArt for the first time. So I'm going to link to all those apps in the video description, and check out my website, naptimealt.com, where there's tons of planner related freebies that you can download now.